Elon Musk is $36 billion richer since returning from his trip to China. Before the China trip, the Tesla CEO was to visit India, meet Prime Minister Narendra Modi and announce a $2 or $3 billion electric vehicles factory for India, along with some announcements related to Starlink. But then he cancelled a much hyped trip, citing very heavy Tesla obligations. And a week later, Elon Musk was in China. Why did Elon Musk choose to go to China rather than visit India? And what happens next? Joining me to discuss this are Subhomoy Bhattacharjee, Vinkesh Gulati, and my colleague Justin Thomas in the studio here. Gentlemen, welcome to the News9 Plus Show. Justin, I want to start by asking you this, since you've been tracking the Musketeer for more than a year now. How did Elon Musk change tracks?
See, Sandeep, if you see in 2023, in India about 1 lakh EV cars were sold.
Right.
At the same period, Elon Musk sold 6 lakh cars in China,
right.
EV cars in China. So that clearly sets up the difference between India and China for Elon Musk.
Absolutely, and he's $36 billion richer.
Exactly, and within that 1 week of his visit, when he visited China, and his stocks skyrocketed. But the bigger point out here is that China is much larger market for present and immediate future for Elon Musk.
Yes.
Because right now the EV ecosystem which is present in China is nowhere close to what India requires or India needs to be there right now.
Yes.
So also the future developments that he has invested into is China, the Shanghai market.
Right.
At the same time, he is facing challenges from the Chinese competitors.
Absolutely.
So
BYD is a big concern. They're breathing
to overcome
down
that,
yes.
he has gone there with a concept like the autopilot cars concept that he has got, which has not found many takers in the United States, his home country.
It's regulatory issues there. But I want to bring in Subhomoy, Justin. Subhomoy, Elon Musk changing tracks, his China plus one strategy seems to have been a decoy, some would say. What explains the trajectory that he's on currently? He looking Delhi, heading Beijing. How do you explain what he did?
Yeah, basically, see, one of the most important factor, I was just listening to what Justin was saying, and he made some very important point. But the critical point out here is Tesla, for the first time since 2020, is facing a decline in revenue.
Right.
That the first thing that the shareholders will do is hammer him badly for that.
Right.
India is long-term play. China is the short-term play.
Yes.
China, he's already there. He's got.
Right.
He just needs to get them to approve the fully automatic vehicle.
Yes.
And basically the data relocation issue.
Right.
Well, he's got that pass. He's gone past that hump. He's now fine. His China strategy is working. He's got nothing to do with India.
Right.
So
okay.
He'll come with his money later on.
Right, he'll come with the money later on. Just an interesting perspective from Subhomoy there, that China is actually the short-term bet and India is the long-term bet, and it's only a matter of time before Musk will come to Delhi. As they would say once, that only Nixon could go to China and probably, only Musk can come to Delhi. But Vinkesh, you see, what Subhomoy just said, that India is the long-term game for Elon Musk, and I think the government seems to have rolled out the red carpet, as it may, for Elon Musk. Do you see him coming here at some point later this year, as he's promised to?
I agree to both of the panelists, Justin and Subhomoy, because see, very frankly, the immediate problem for Elon Musk was China, which this technology had to get approval. And you saw the immediate returns also.
Yes.
He just signed it. He haven't yet launched it or done a project. It's just signed, and he becomes so much richer.
Right.
Whereas India is a long-term project, and it's not only electric vehicle in India. It's majorly talking on the space side also.
Absolutely,
the
Starlink
system what India has.
Right.
So he also wants to benefit from our NASA's capability and space things also. So I feel he has done right on his part. I do agree, as Elon Musk is, he has always been unconventional. He has never thought about what people think about himself. He talks to Indian PM where everybody wants to get an appointment and meet him, and gets a left turn towards China.
Right.
But on the other hand, I feel India is still ready to welcome him, and he has India in his foresight to come in, because it's not just electric vehicle for him. It will be made in India for the world, not for China. For the Asia part, I feel Indian factory will become a major manufacturing hub, and additionally, the space will help him. One thing we should also consider, India is a very price-sensitive market.
Yes.
For Elon Musk to come in India and plan something, he'll really have to think hard and strategize. 1 lakh EV sold on an average price of what? 12 or 13 lakhs. He doesn't have a product at that price. His lowest price is around 30, 35 lakhs.
Yes.
And him thinking of making a car affordable for India and then exporting to all over the world is a strategy which it will take time. Initial agreement what Indian government will have will be only for 8,000 cars for the first 3 years. I don't think so. That's a big number for him or his shareholder to show the effect.
Yes.
So this is the future.
It's the future, and Justin, we were talking about just before the recording about how that low-cost car is on Elon Musk's radar, that $20,000, $25,000 car. What do we know about it so far?
I think it's still a challenge whether he will make it in India, because his 3 factories, which are in Shanghai, in Germany and the US, still has capacity enough to make more cars. So I think first he is going to ensure that the optimum level in these 3 factories are completely done. Only then he will think of getting into the Indian market, because at the same time, because he has dropped his prices, car prices, because of the fierce competition from the Chinese. So obviously his revenue has gone down. Revenue is going down. His shareholders are on top of him. So he has to ensure that whatever existing resources that he has got, he's got to build there first. So I guess that's how it's going to come in India, that probably in his other factories, wherever there is space available, he will start off with that sub 20 lakh region, that car, that electric car that is suitable. He will try to, obviously the EV policy that India has rolled out, he will latch on to that, because it has that 3 period time period to build up a facility out here. So he is going to get that into it. But I think the major focus right now is that he's able to get those new cars, new design concepts out from this existing facilities and then push that into India, and from there gather momentum and see where it takes it.
Yeah, absolutely. Gather momentum and see where it takes him. Subhomoy, you were talking about a long-term play, India being the long-term play for Elon Musk, and he's got a lot of plans for India. Just break down for us what you see in the next couple of years, how India becomes very key to Elon Musk's business empire.
The one important part about there would be what I talked about, data. We in India have a very strict data localization rules. This is there for the financial sector. Elon Musk has just said and got the deal in China with speaking with Premier Vinkesh Gulati that the data will be transferred to US. That is a very new regulatory issue which India will have to factor in. Because the fully automatic cars, of course, are not coming immediately into India, but before it commits its investment, would want clarity on that. Especially because just like China, India offers very interesting driving patterns on roads. So that gives a lot of chance for the fully automatic cars to improve their capacity. So it's definitely something which is very important. The China visit was basically a way also, I mean, when we say it's long term, and obviously it's long term, but it's also a way of telling India what are the things that Tesla would want. Remember, one thing, Sandeep, the industry leaders like Elon Musk or Zuckerberg, they are now much more significant than visits of heads of state.
Yes, absolutely.
So when they come calling and when they make discussions with countries, those are far more salient, because they move not billions, but trillions of dollars across national borders. So therefore, also a learning lesson for our bureaucracy in terms of understanding how to deal with these very heavy technocrats. You have them in the defense sector, you will have them in the consumer sector, you will have them in every possible sector. It's something that the India in the new government will have to be getting aware of. Without just saying that we want it our.
Right, absolutely. And
Vinkesh, if I could just add something,
Justin.
That the data part, the Chinese again played a very interesting role out here also, because while they agreed to give Musk that access, At the same time, they had said that they're going to fit Chinese software into the Tesla cars out there. So what it does is that just like the ecosystem that Tesla built and which BYD is now taking help of, the same software is going to be definitely going to be used by these Chinese companies to again develop this very cars, the automatic cars, the autopilot cars in a way. So China is extracting its pound of flesh while giving off this data, which India will have a challenge to face.
And the fact that Tesla's driverless cars in China use Baidu.
Yes, exactly. The Baidu software. That's the software that they are going to put in this ones also. So that way, BYD is obviously going to get access to that, the data and all that. So that is again a plus point for China. So it's you know, while they're giving those data, they're ensuring that they're getting their share of area required that for the companies in China.
Vinkesh, you know, there's another interesting player who nobody really talks about a lot. That's Winfast. That's Vietnam's fastest and biggest electric car maker. Should India kind of reach out to Pham Nhat Vuong, the founder of Winfast? And you know, if Musk can't make it, then I'm sure the Winfast CEO has time for us. Do you think that India should also play this, you know, Musk +1 game? Because, I mean, let's face it, we need to get all the options we can in the EV space where we are kind of falling back behind the rest of the world.
See, India is playing that. It's not that India is not giving due importance to Winfast, but we should also consider the comparison between Winfast and the Tesla. Winfast is only successful as of now in Vietnam. Their US foray also didn't work well. No doubt they are relaunching it. In India, they have already tied up for a factory. But the kind of product Winfast have and at the price point what they have, Indian retail customers are still far off from going towards them. The car quality, the product quality. I'm not saying it's substandard. It's a very good vehicle. There are a lot of dealers who have gone to Vietnam to see that, who wants to become partners to Winfast. But both are different segments and both are different. Both will have a different effect to the India. We need a Winfast also and a Tesla also. Because Tesla will become like an Apple, what mobile industry has happened in India because of Apple coming in.
Yeah, that's a good comparison.
But with Winfast, you can't expect that. Winfast is still in a nascent stage of becoming an EV leader or even a matured player in the EV market. We can talk about BYD, we can talk about Tesla if we want to talk about pure EV players, but not Winfast. And overall, if you talk about the auto retail market, we are still not sure if Tesla will come through dealers or it will come direct to customers. But we are one thing very sure that with Tesla coming in, the electric vehicle product quality, the electric vehicle market will see a boom. Even if Tesla comes with a 20 lakh, 30 lakh vehicle price, but the kind of adoption which is today is restricted due to a lot of many myths and issues will be over. And we'll see a major jump in acceptance of EV vehicles, and the ratio which is just below 2-3% will at least jump to 10% what government wants. And
double-digit figures. Absolutely. Interesting times ahead, Justin. And you know, it looks like aayega to Elon Musk hi. But what's your prognosis? How many months is it going to be? He said later this year.
I still doubt that it could be later this year or it's going to be a further out. But he's going to definitely come. That's for sure, because the policy that he has got from Indian government ensures that he gets a step hold. Obviously, he's going to have an Indian partner that is required in a sense that to ensure that the local requirements are met with. But he has clearly, because an expert recently said that China is a must-have market and India is a nice-to-have market for Musk right now. So that's the current situation. But there's no doubting the fact that if Musk needs to sell more cars, he got to come to India.
Absolutely.
And India is the market ahead. China is the current market, but India is the future.
Must have versus
nice to have.
Nice to have. Must have versus nice to have. But thanks very much for breaking it down. Musk's Vanishing Act, Subhomoy, Vinkesh and my colleague Justin Thomas here in the studio. Thanks for breaking up Musk's Vanishing Act. There's more to that, more to Musk than just that one visit that he deferred. India is the long-term game for Musk, and we'll be tracking that story very closely here at News9 Plus. Elon Musk's surprise visit to China and deal for Tesla has left India in shock. Now, there's an increasing rivalry between India and China, two of Asia's largest countries and most dynamic economies. My colleague Justin Thomas spoke with Anindya Ghosh, professor of technology and marketing at the NYU Stern School of Business, and he asked him about whether the Indian market is ready to handle the EV ecosystem. Have a look.
I would say that these interactions that Mr. Musk has with the Indian government and the postponed visit can be seen as a business, as a blend of business strategy and perhaps like navigating complex regulatory environments. So let's look at a few points, right? Like the first thing is, if you think about business strategy and market entry, then Musk's interest in expanding Tesla's operations into India at aligns with the company's goal of capturing new and emerging markets, right? India is a huge market, rapidly growing economy, presents a very lucrative opportunity. One of the main hurdles for India has been on the regulatory front with respect to like countries' import tariffs and regulations. And so India has significant tariffs on imported cars as part of its push to encourage local manufacturing. And Mr. Musk has, voiced concern about these tariffs, which makes Tesla's cars a lot more expensive. Another critical factor I would say for Tesla before committing to the Indian market is the availability of adequate charging infrastructure and the possibility of setting up local production, facilities. And another factor I would say that the postponement of Mr. Musk's visit to, your question, I would say it can be attributed to several factors, such as the need for more time to negotiate with the Indian government. There are some of these unresolved regulatory challenges I mentioned with the tariffs and the charging stations. But there could also be some broader strategic shifts within Tesla, given that China's Shanghai's gigabit factory is one of the most important things for them. So this is how I think about, his interaction with the government is a combination of business strategy and some complex regulatory environments. Very crucial. So first of all, China is the largest market for electrical vehicles globally, driven by the government policies favoring EV technology and sort of a growing consumer appetite for, sustainable transportation. And Tesla has experienced substantial sales in China. Tesla's gigabit factory in Shanghai, like I mentioned, established its first manufacturing facility outside of the US. It's pivotal for its strategy. This factory, the Shanghai factory, not only serves the Chinese market, but also serves as an export hub for Europe and other Asian markets. And from what I recall, the production capacity of Shanghai factory is critical in meeting Tesla's global supply chain. Third, China is a very competitive EV market of its own with numerous domestic players. There's BYD, there's NIO, there's XPeng. So Tesla's presence in China puts it directly in competition, with these established brands. And this competitive environment would require Tesla to innovate even more and adapt its offerings. China is number 4, I would say, on the supply chain front and raw material front. China is important because it's a global leader in production and processing of several key materials, for EV batteries, such as lithium, cobalt, what we call the rare earth materials. So China is a big source of that. So I think from all of these perspectives, China's role in Tesla's global strategy is multifaceted. It extends beyond just a sales market. It includes production, it includes supply chain logistics, strategic insights into one of the world's most rapidly evolving automotive landscapes with significant competitive domestic competition. So for all these reasons, I think China is an extremely crucial market for Tesla, encompassing both its operation and the strategic future growth. Look, it's hard to read anybody's mind, especially someone of that stature as Mr. Musk. But I would say it's probably a combination of both. I do believe that, at least here in the US, I hear a lot about the genuine desire of Tesla to have a significant presence in India. I think that is a genuine desire. And so there was this talk that they would be investing like $2 to $3 billion in Chennai, for example, in a factory. I don't think that's made up. I think it's a matter of time. At the same time, I think given the importance of Tesla's role in China and China's role in Tesla's future strategy, it may also be a short-term, strategic behavior whereby given the fact that China and India politically are not in the best terms, so it may be a strategic behavior as well. But all with that being said, I genuinely believe that Tesla recognizes the value of the Indian market for electrical vehicles. Look if you look at the last few years, every major Western global brand has now put India on its radar. India is like the #1 country on the map of most Western well-known global brands. So, and Tesla and Mr. Musk is right up there. So I think it's a matter of time.
Streaming on News9 Plus. News is now content. Subscribe and get free vouchers.